Okay, I finally did it. Walked over to Dragon's Lair down the street, about a 2 mile walk, and came back with this. It was totally worth it. Yeah, I finally picked up the starter set of Age of Sigmar, which I've been kind of super drooling over and very excited to get stuck in with. And also picked up the hardback book that just released this weekend, this Saturday. Really gorgeous artwork in here as well as miniature photography. So, yeah, excited to have a proper read of this. I've only kind of just leafed through it, and yeah, gonna get stuck in with what's in the box here and start putting together some miniatures. These are kind of interesting. I've never seen these before. I'm used to the red packaged ruler sticks that have come in every other starter set. But yeah, all kinds of good stuff. But anyway, yeah, I'll keep you guys posted on what's going on with that. Take care.
Oh gosh, look at all the tiny men. More tiny men.
I took the Sunday to finish putting together the Stormcast Eternals. I started on them last weekend when I picked up the box set for the new starter set for Age of Sigmar. And yeah, man, some of these were tough to put together. I appreciate that they were able to pack so much onto those sprues. And I don't pretend to be a sprue engineer or nothing, but some of the ways that a few of these models fit together was kind of unusual. Like this guy right here, especially, man, he really kind of kicked my ass a little bit. Like the head for the Dracoth, however you pronounce it, the beastie this guy's riding. Like the head splits right down the middle, and one of the horns right there. You can see. Here, let me grab an instrument with which to point at things. It's a handy toothpick will do. That horn right there is part of like this right here. Like what would you call that? The bridle or whatever, the barding, I guess. And part of the Lord Celestin's arm right here. Like his forearm and his elbow, like kind of have to be tucked up underneath this cape, and the way he sits on the saddle is very strange. I had to cut off the back part of the saddle down there to get him to sit comfortably on this, because the cape wouldn't allow him to sit there. Like he kept tilting forward and pulling apart that spot there where his thigh joins to his knee. So it was kind of complicated. Like the Dracoth too, like he comes in like two halves, but then, well, I guess 2/3, and then another third down there is like his chest and his stomach. So it all fit together very strangely, I thought. But he was probably he was the first one I put together, and he was probably the most obnoxious, but wound up being one of the more impressive pieces on. He just casts a really interesting silhouette from multiple angles. He's just really cool looking. But yeah, these wings too, man. These wings really there's so many pokey bits in this. My fingers are all like stabbed and everything. But yeah, they're all put together now. On to the chaos. Blood for the blood god. Hey guys, so just finished up with the Chaos army included in the Age of Sigmar starter box, and yeah, they look really impressive together. I'm very pleased with the sculpts. They look pretty damn fantastic. Got the Blood Warriors, I think they are, in the back there. The mighty Lord of Chaos, and this guy has a a name in the narrative that comes along with the box and everything, and that's more detailed in the big old thick Age of Sigmar book. I forget his name. It's like something cool or something. I can't remember. But he's got a puppy. He's got a mean old puppy with him. What else we got over there? There's a Blood Stoker over there. Korgorath. 20 Blood Reavers. Blood Secrator. So yeah, again with this set, some of the way some of the models fit together is kind of strange and threw me for a loop sometimes. In particular, the Blood Reavers. I mean, they look awesome, and there's a lot of them that look like they're just kind of breaking out and doing all out like run, kind of like this dude here, the Hornblower. But consequently, there's only a little teeny tiny spot on some of them, like they're very tippy toe, that's only coming into contact with the base. So it feels a little precarious once you glue them down, and you're like, is that guy gonna fall off? But anyway, yeah. Here's a chieftain. I accidentally gave him the wrong weapon. This guy over here stole his axe. I apologize for the flaky focus on the camera. But, yeah, whoops. I don't know. I guess this guy can just be a real badass with maybe he found a cool axe. Or so he made it himself. I don't know. But I only got enough of this size base here in the box, which are the 32 millimeter bases, I believe. I only got enough of these in the box for 19 out of 20 of the Blood Reavers, so I had to improvise and stick this guy on a standard Space Marine base, extra one that I had. I've got a handful of extras laying around, but I also thought it was kind of strange too that they're on such big bases for these guys. These are kind of just like the regular sort of rank and file guys, I guess. At least for the army in this box, your standard infantry dudes. Especially in Age of Sigmar, where the bases don't matter anymore, and you want to get as close as you can, model to model. These guys actually kind of seem to fit pretty comfortably on this size base. It's smaller, and this guy's stance is fairly wide. It doesn't really get much wider than that for any of the other Blood Reavers. And you think you'd want smaller bases so that you don't have to, do that whole overlappy thing when you're getting into close combat. But so I thought that was kind of unusual too, and it was kind of a bummer to be one base short. I do have an extra 40 millimeter base though, so whoops. I guess someone goofed there, but. Yeah, anyway, for the most part, pretty pleased with these guys. There were some of the models had some really interesting flashing going on, like when the mold lines are really extreme and like you can see where the injection kind of overflowed a little bit, I guess. In particular, these guys here, only on a couple of these Chaos Reaver models, like where you see those Chaos shackles or Chaos rings hanging off his belt there. There's some really severe flashing going on around them. Really easy to cut off because they're super thin, but I haven't seen that in a long time on Games Workshop plastic models. But for the most part, there wasn't a whole lot of offensive mold line stuff going on here. These were relatively easy to clean up, but the way some of them fit together is kind of bizarre, as I keep saying. Like this guy in particular, I don't know if you can see him, but just below his neck right across his chest. You see that line there? That's where the model joined. Like his shoulders and part of his upper back and his head are all one piece, and they kind of slot over the over the torso that already had its arms attached and stuff. So it's kind of strange. So it leaves this big ugly line in it, which if you were more of a perfectionist, you know, you'd be probably making use of your green stuff and whatever else to fill that in. But yeah, pretty cool. They look pretty awesome together. They look proper mean. And a lot of the Blood reviewers like breaking out into run, and Blood Warriors too. It gives it a nice kind of you know, tidal wave of pain sort of look, like they're just sprinting towards you, ready to take skulls for the skull throne, etc. But anyway, yeah, that makes the entire box set fully, you know, cleaned and assembled and everything, except for this dude right here who kind of doesn't stick out too bad. He would have stuck out more so if I had put him on the bigger base. But yeah, it almost makes me want to go back and just like rebase them all on this size on this size base for the Blood Reavers. But anyway, yeah, that's the Age of Sigmar box set, fully assembled. Painting is a whole other thing, and we'll get to that eventually. But anyway, yes, blood for the Blood God, etc.